So right now we have an implementation where we can add courses, remove courses, and so what about when we want to handle things that are way down in the bowels of some other element down here? Okay, so for instance, let's say the rendering of this. Let's take a look at that. Right now, the rendering of the table component has an li. Now this li could become fairly complex, right? Because ideally I like to be able to edit the title of the course, right? I like to have like an input field. I like to have maybe a couple buttons. One button that will allow me to not only delete, but I like to be able to edit the course, right? Or I like to be able to save the course. Maybe I like to be able to highlight the course depending on. So this could get fairly complex. Yes. So instead of implementing it this way, I might decide, you know what, this is going to be way too complex. I'm going to put its own components, right? That's what React proposes, right? So let's create here another component, and we'll call it course course row. So in course row, we're going to grab this li, right? And in here, we're going to wrap it inside a component, right? I'm going to say const course row, which is going to take as argument, presumably, a course, and we're going to render this. And notice that we have a couple of event handlers, delete course, and show editor, which we don't have, right? We are stateless, so we're going to presumably somebody's going to pass it to us, right? All these events handlers we are using it to notify our parent, right? Index, instead of index, probably we want to use the ID. Actually, I don't need this key here. I don't need this key here, right? And we're going to export this. Export default course row. Once I have that, I can replace this whole thing with course row. Here's course row. I can pass as an argument the course. And I'm also expecting what? I'm expecting the show editor and the delete course. Right? So I can pass down the show editor, which is a reference to the show editor, and the delete course is a reference to the delete course, which goes back to who? My parent, right? The course manager has all that, right? And let's see. All right, it works the same way. It's rendering just fine. The only thing that I've done is that I've moved a lot of stuff underneath. Yes? Everybody good? Right? And the reason that I want to do that is because course editor could be fairly complex, right? It might even maintain its own state. For instance, because course row now has an input field, well, guess what? I'm going to have to own that state, right? Even though I declared it as a stateless component, I'm going to need state. So I'm going to have to refactor this into a stateful component, right? So let's do that.